Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. We are doing another nerd chat. Joker will not be here today, but I am here with my fellow host.
I'm Jack.
And let's just get the elephant out of the room. We got the a new background for Halloween, and we will be doing more spooky themed nerd chats for the next while. Um, as well as after Halloween has passed, we will also be doing a another thing. We'll be switching over to Thanksgiving. So yeah, in the comments below, make sure that you let us know all of the different nerdy references that you're noticing in our background. Obviously, they're pretty obvious, but at the same time, like, you may not get them all. So list them off if you can, and yeah, we'll talk. Maybe we'll talk about it in the next video, uh, or something like that. So you've seen the background, right, Jack? Yeah. So what do you think of it?
Yeah, you put it in the group chat.
Yeah. So what do you think of it?
I like it. I also helped you pick out what would go in it, so I kind of knew. So
Yeah, that's true. And I think Joker also said that he liked it. I think so. That's good. Um, now also in last night on Twitter for us, obviously in the I think it would have been 2 days ago for you guys, but last night I mentioned that I finally found what the book was. The book about the dragon that I've been trying to find for a really long time.
right. I remember that. Yeah.
so basic so basically it was a for those of you who are unaware, for a long time I've been trying to find this book that was about a girl and a dragon. I had some vague memories of it, but I was finally able to find it. And the title is, drumroll please, Lily Quench and the Dragon of Ashby.
That is random as hell.
Here, I'm gonna send the picture to the group chat because yeah. Uh, so this is basically it. So basically, the way that I found out about it was I found out what it was that I was scrolling through I went through Goodreads, and I'll just make sure that the fans can see it. It's in my hand. See? But yeah, so basically I'd been looking for it for a good while, obviously. And last night I decided, you know what? Let's give it at least one more try. Let's check Goodreads, see if maybe they can help me find it. Um, I start scrolling through, and there are a lot of dragon books, that happen to have a girl involved, and eventually I see Lily Quinch, and I'm just like, oh, that's it. Like, I see the cover and I'm just like, that is definitely it. That is 100% the book. I can't believe that it took me so long to find it, but I did find it at long last. And then later on, after I told you guys that I had found it, I decided to look at the description that they gave, and it is also 100%. It just made it super clear that that is the book. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the description for you. As a family of dragon slayers, the Quinches of Ashby have always been burning successes until the evil Black Count invades and the family's fortunes go into a downward spiral. Then a dragon unexpectedly arrives, and Lily, the last of the Quenches, is called upon to fight it. Soon she finds herself on a desperate magical quest to save Ashby from destruction and restore the lost heir to his throne.
Hmm.
And it's also really interesting because, like, obviously, dragon slayers. So you'd assume they're gonna that she's gonna kill the dragon, right?
Yeah.
It is very much a How to Train Your Dragon story, where she actually befriends the dragon.
Nice.
And the dragon is apparently involved with like several books that continue on from there. So that's fun.
Nice.
That's fun. Yeah. And obviously like that's gonna be there's gonna be I'm kind of looking to see if I want to get the book and reread it, but obviously it is very much a children's book. So
Yeah, and
I mean, fair. But like at the same time, like I know that Joker is just gonna be like, but it's a kid's book. It's like just a few pages long or some shit, and or it's got like all these artworks and shit. But yeah,
you know, Joker and his aversion to all things kiddish is kind of stupid.
yeah, fair enough.
And I say that on here because I have told him that to his face.
Yep.
Does he care? No. It's his right not to like things that are kiddish. But his reasoning being, I outgrew that and I'm an adult now, is kind of dumb.
It is. It absolutely is. Meanwhile, here we are, enjoying life, loving the kids shit.
Yep. Correct. So I'm reading Promise Neverland #2.
Nice. And so, what do you think of the series so far? Like, you've only read the first volume fully.
Yeah, so far I've read the first volume. To recap, they discovered... So, I'm sitting there, you know, reading it, kind of just reading it, going, cool, cool, I can see it's like an orphanage. That's great. And then she says, everything here was normal to us. You know, a warm bed, delicious food, all white uniform. Alright, that's a little strange. All white uniform. That sounds like a psych ward, you know. Our ID number is on our necks. Wait! Pump the brakes. That's not normal, my friend. That's not normal.
Oh my gosh, I love that's your reaction.
And then the tests, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, this so like from the get-go, they do try to make it very clear that this is a dark series.
Yeah.
But at the same time, obviously, the kids aren't aware that this is like one of the darkest freaking books in the universe. So they're just like,
yeah.
So they don't necessarily realize that. And then when they do, the audience is just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they go out to the edge to try and bring Connie.
Yeah. Mr. Bunny.
The rabbit. Yeah, and they see in the back of the truck a very, very dead little girl with a rose sticking out of her chest.
Yep.
And then later on we see she's put in like a preservation jar.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna spoil too much, but if you have any questions, I will answer them. Such as the rose thing. You asked yesterday what the rose was about, and it is you thought that it was something like presentation. It is a religion thing, but it's also but the specifics with it is that it drains blood, so that it makes it easier to digest and shit. Whatever, it basically makes it so that the blood isn't a problem.
Do they also like only eat the brains, or do they eat the whole kid? I'm confused.
So the brain is the delicacy, but demons will eat pretty much the entire body.
Okay.
Gross.
Oh, was that a Joker?
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Joker.
Hi.
So you are here. Welcome back.
I'm here for a little bit. I'm in Reno, and so my parents went into the store, and I'm sitting in the car. So I thought I'd join for a little bit.
Okay. So, that picture that I sent the group chat, that is the book that I found that I was looking for. That's Lily
And you
Quench.
couldn't remember?
I couldn't remember it for years. Yeah. To be fair, I read this when I was like, what, 6? I want to say.
Oh, so it's a little kid's book.
Oh yeah. When I say it's a kid's book, I mean it. um, it like yeah, I read this in elementary school before I was homeschooled.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously, like I think the Goodreads says it's an 8+ book, but at the same time, it's like I read it. Oh, and Joker's gone. But yeah.
Oh well.
Um, but yeah,
So
it's
I'm on to Promised Neverland Book 2,
okay.
and I'm reading the back now. Says the exams they take are tough. Their loving caretaker provides them with delicious food and plenty of playtime. But perhaps not everything is as it seems behind the facade. Secretly being raised as food for demons.
Yeah.
But their caretaker mom has brought in extra help to keep the orphans in line. Who also secretly wants to take over the orphanage and like get rid of mom. So is Sister Krona, is she one of the meatlings also?
Oh, like she's just like mom. She is just like mom. If that's what you're wondering.
So
Basically.
she was.
So I'm not gonna give too much details with that because that's like a really big shock. But let's just put it this way that that both of them were they
Meatlings.
were going to be food, but then they were not. And we'll just leave it at that. And only girls get to have that. So
Because they can be moms.
exactly. Um, I think I could. I don't. Yeah, there. I think there might be like something with with men, but it's less. It is much less, which also means that technically, most of the kids might be siblings, like at least in some degree. Like
Well, to me,
different.
it sounds like they're coming out of a baby farm.
Yeah, different
A la the
mothers.
Giver.
Like some of them will have the same mothers, but most of them will have different mothers. And the father is like I think they're usually the same guy, but I could be wrong. It's
yeah.
way fewer guys than it is women. Let's just put it that way.
It sounds like where Bean came from in Ender's Game.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, there's a lot with that, and it's yeah, like I said, read the you'll see more of how that exactly goes about. But yeah, it's gonna be very very interesting. Let's just put it at that. Also, Ray is just like, what the fuck is going on with you, dude?
That's fair, yeah.
Um. Yeah. Look forward to finding out more about Ray. That's all I'll say for now. I think I don't know how far. I think it's in volume 3 that they leave the place, but I could be wrong about that. I don't remember the exact the exact stops on everything. But another thing to also be aware. I know you don't really watch anime that much, but if you do watch anime, then if you do decide that you want to watch this anime, only watch season 1. Season 2 is an abomination.
Okay.
Like pretty much, it is so bad to the point that every single Promised Neverland fan has basically agreed, including the anime onlys, have specifically agreed that there is no season 2.
I see.
So, yeah, just be aware of that. It's bad. It is really freaking bad. But yeah, watch the if you do decide to watch the anime, watch season 1. Don't watch season 2. That's as far as you need to know. But yeah, I'm intrigued to hear all of your thoughts as you continue on with this series. obviously I'm currently reading Ender's Game, and that's why you're reading Promise Neverland. And I am enjoying listening to it again. But pretty much, obviously, I remember most of the book, because obviously it wasn't that long ago. It was what, freshman year of high school? I want to say maybe it was sophomore. Joker would have to be the one to correct me on that, but yeah. But yeah, there's that. I do plan on reading it at some point. I just need to get around to it. So yeah, I just need to continue on with the book, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. Nothing's really gonna be new to me until I get to the second book. So
Speaker for the Dead.
yeah, Speaker for the Dead is the one that you want me to that you said I should read next.
Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of weird that you put on your list of the books. I believe that you put Ender in Exile before Speaker of the Dead, and yet you haven't read Ender in Exile?
It's chronologically there, but it came out later, so I haven't read it yet.
Okay, I see. So is Ender in Exile like pretty much right after Ender's Game, and then Speaker of the Dead?
Yeah.
And then Speaker for the Dead is like when he's older, right?
Yeah. Speaker for the Dead is actually about 3,000 years in the future.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Wait, but isn't Ender still the main character?
Yes.
How is Ender still alive? Excuse me, what? I'm confused, and I need to get to this point because that's concerning. Are you still there? Sounds like you're still there. Okay, let's change topics so that we're not having an existential crisis. Oh, Ragnarok. Let's talk about Ragnarok. So, can we... I really want to discuss that final episode.
I have scanned every Ragnarok subreddit, and everyone agrees it's bullshit.
Yeah, let's just say at this point in time that the final episode of Ragnarok just didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Because that episode is just so bizarre. I can't... my brain is just like, the fuck?
You're gonna tell me the whole fucking thing was in his head? I think the McFuck chicken not.
Yeah, especially, like, the fact that, one, the Utils are just like, they have been involved with this the entire fucking time, and they've been saying since like the second that he started to figure out that he was Thor, they were like, yeah, we're giants. They didn't even hide it from him. They were just like, yeah, we're giants. What are you gonna do? And that's how they were for the entire time. And then freaking all of the other people, and like people have actually been killed and died. Like maybe I could understand if maybe Isolde was not actually like she died, but for whatever reason it was actually an accident. But they actually killed some people.
For real.
Like, we see them actually kill people, and it's just like, are you actually telling us that this entire thing has just been in his head? And that all these people were just like, yeah, you're Thor, I'm Balder, blah, 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 blah. Like, it makes the most sense probably at the end, where with Balder specifically, because he's just like, yeah, I'll be Balder, or something like that, as basically, I'm trying to help out my my boyfriend's brother with his huge issues, but no one else is like that. Like, what's her name? She has no reason to help him until after until the she's recruited. The black Tyr, like obviously he just joined and blah 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 blah, but he was more willing to help before he became before all that anyways. But it's just bizarre. And like there's all these private discussions that happen that he would have no connection to, and it's just like, how in the world are you pretending that this is fake? I don't know. That infuriates me. As far as I'm concerned, the season finale is episode 5.
Yep.
Because that has a good ending. Like, maybe if we cut out all of that existential crisis at the end, then I'm okay with it. But at the same time, it's just like, what the fuck? But yeah, I do have to say that I do like that he was able to come to a better conclusion than just killing the giants.
Yeah.
That was cool, especially since he's not a bad guy. He's not someone who actually wants to kill people, but at the same time, he did kill Vidar.
Even that wasn't totally on purpose.
I mean, fair, but at the same time, it's like he killed Vidar. How like if it was all a dream, he would have been arrested immediately. Like they're not gonna just like continue playing this game with him because saying that it was saying to the rest of the world it was a heart attack. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a what the fuck. But yeah, still, show is fun. I'm glad to see it have a, like, I would say that the episode 5, I'd say that is still a decent finale. I think I would have preferred like a few things a little bit better, but at the same or to have it continue and have them actually like have more of the gods or something like that. Like also like the random kid who happened to have the same name as Thor's brother or Baldur's brother, whatever, that killed him.
Oh, no.
I don't remember what his name was. It's not important. But he was like like in the he was the one who was shot in the eye.
Yeah.
But like I'm kind of glad that they did make it out like that. That's that's actually kind of important. And then it's all a dream, or it's all in his mind, and it's just like, what the fuck? I don't know. I have a lot of problems with the season finale. It's just, we should change the subject again because it's just gonna drive us crazy. Oh, did you obviously Pandora 7 came out recently.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even read the first volume, have you?
No, sir.
Okay. I think Joker's probably read the second volume like I have. It's really good. I don't want to spoil things because it's really cool, and it's also really awesome to see her be a badass, especially during the points when she only has one arm. She doesn't fully lose the arm. Let me make that clear. But but she does temporarily not have both arms. So
okay.
It makes more sense once you've read the series. But it's just like, I love seeing her be a badass like that. But yeah, read Pandora 7, everyone. Beyond that, we're not gonna worry too much about that. But also, you know what? Actually, we should next Nerd Chat, we should actually be doing something else because you know what's coming out this week.
The Pokemon DLC.
Yes, indeed. It's time. It's finally frickin' time. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for. I'm so excited for that to finally be coming out. Like Teal Mask is gonna be frickin' amazing. Oh, I can't.
I am stoked.
Me too. I honestly can't wait. It's just gonna be so much fun to see this season finale of this truly amazing show.
Wait, what?
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. It's gonna be so fun to see
Are
the
you having
continuing.
a stroke right now?
A little bit. I'm really tired. Yesterday was a lot.
Cat. Fuck off.
Your cat being stupid again.
As per usual.
Yeah, I believe it. But it's gonna be so much fun to see the series to see the DLC. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Legitimately, I do not understand why I can't speak today, but that's whatever.
You get off the books
Why is your cat being on the books?
because they're in a place where he can get to them. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that makes some sense. How many eggs did I just... Okay. I just got, like, about 2 boxes full of eggs, I think. About that. Maybe a little bit less.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to, shiny hunt, obviously. So, I'm Masuda methoding.
I have literally nothing left to do except raids in both my games.
I mean, fair. Well, I mean, it's a good time for that to happen so that you're ready for the DLC.
It's true.
The biggest problem with the DLC, speaking of shiny hunting, I guess, is that you have to do the raids in order to actually to do your best at shiny hunting, because Herba Mystica are so freaking helpful with one, finding shinies, but two,
That's true.
but yeah, as well as making sure that you're finding a very specific type of Pokemon. And granted, they have helped. I've been doing some shiny hunting recently, and I got, what did I get with the shiny hunt with that shiny method? So I got Iron Treads as shiny. I was also able to get, where is it? Toedscruel or Toedscool. I was able to get that shiny. Even though I was hunting for Applin, but I couldn't. But I guess there's a lot more grass types there than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I should have used a dragon thing, but I didn't have the materials for it, so that's why I went with that method.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that's another thing is like doing the just using the Herba Mystica is so freaking challenging because like especially if you want to do shiny you want to actually get shiny sandwiches, because in order to get it properly you need to have a very specific Herba Mystica, all of which require at least 1 salty, most of which require 2 salties. And then they require a different ingredient afterwards. If you want like the easiest of the sandwiches. If you want, if you don't really care what Herba Mystica you're using, then you can use then you use a ton of materials. What is it? So it's like how many? You basically fill your entire ingredients except for the where the Herba Mystica and the other things and other stuff goes.
Wow.
So yeah, basically you get you need a lot of sandwiches. And a lot of supplies also, which is just like obviously it's gonna be a huge pain in the ass to do. but it's whatever. So yeah. What do you think you're gonna be what do you think is gonna be happening as like the story of the Teal Mask? Because like obviously they've
Is it the one where we're visiting the school, or is it where we're like camping?
It's the camping one. So do you think we're gonna be like actually doing some camping? Do you think there's gonna be anything with the other characters, or what do you think's gonna happen?
Well, I would imagine that if it's camping, it's gonna be like a school camping trip, which would mean Arvin and Lamona at least are gonna be there.
Yeah.
But I also imagine we'll probably have, since Penny probably won't be there, since she's kind of being punished, and due to the nature of punishment, probably wouldn't be on a camping trip.
Yeah, fair enough.
We might have another to round it out, so we don't just have a bunch of 3s, so we have a 4.
So we do know that there's going to be these 2 new kids. That's been confirmed at this point, and they're basically the ones.
Well, maybe even Arvin is, like he says. Maybe Arvin is busy taking on the gyms and doesn't come with us, and that's why we have 2 new ones.
Yeah. So I'm thinking.
But I know for sure. If Namona's not in it, I'm gonna be shocked, to be quite honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, it looks like these 2 kids are, who I believe are siblings. They are gonna be the main extra characters for both the Teal Mask and, the Indigo Disc. So they're gonna be basically your main companions, but I feel like Nemona kind of should come with, because she's just the
she's the OG.
She's the OG, but also she's our best friend. But also she's gotten the least amount of story.
She really did get the least amount of story building, which is kind of sad, because she's like our next door neighbor. So not only are we at school with her, but we also our life is part of her.
Yeah, exactly. So it should have we should obviously have some connection with her, and yet for whatever reason we don't. There should be more story with her. And instead we get frickin' Arvin and Penny getting the most story.
Yeah.
And truthfully, their stories feel way more complete than Nemona's.
Agreed. We really actually don't know anything about Nemona. In fact, we've never even seen more than 1 team of her Pokemon.
Exactly. And she says that she has a shit ton of Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, my guess is that she completed the Paldean Pokedex, except for maybe the Paradox Pokemon.
Probably, yeah. I would say that's likely.
Like the least likely one that she would have gotten is Goldengo, but that's mostly because Goldengo's a pain in the ass.
But even then, knowing Nemona, she probably did.
Probably. But we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. My guess is that is that she probably will be joining us. I'm also curious, like, what exactly do you think is going to be happening with the I think they're legendaries. Yeah, the new legendaries.
You mean, what is it, like, Okidogi?
Yeah, like Okidogi. I'm forgetting their actual names. Pheasantipity, whatever. Let me make sure. I have the page. So it is not showing up for some fucking reason. Why are they not showing up? Okay, Okidogi, Munkidori, and Pheasantipity.
Yeah. I think they're gonna have to do something with, like I said, I think it's gonna be a school camping trip, and so Clavel's gonna be there, I would imagine. And so he's gonna give some speech about how in the forest there are these unknown creatures, and there's lore behind them, and that would be why. And that's why humans say hunky dory or like whatever, like.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
we'll see exactly how they decide to play with that as it comes up. But yeah, I don't know. It's just there's something about this that just feels like they need to do more. And we'll see exactly how that turns out. But
remembering, of course, it is only the first half of the DLC. It's not.
Yeah.
Not the whole thing yet.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, people are like so excited. They're like, "Oh yeah, they're bringing all the old starters back in." I'm like, "Yeah, an Indigo Mask."
Yeah, that's another big thing.
Or Indigo Disc, excuse me.
Yeah, Indigo Disc. I believe that's probably gonna have more Pokemon than the other one, than Teal Mask, and they're not really being very clear exactly what is gonna be in there. Like there's a video by what's his name, Austin John Plays, and he's apparently he and some friends have done some checking in the systems or whatever, and they found all of the Pokemon that are going to be in the Teal Mask, or supposedly what's going to be in the Teal Mask. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But or rather the new Pokemon that are going to be in the Teal Mask. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting situation with that, because it's just like so on the website they specifically say these expansions will bring with them over 230 familiar Pokemon that had not appeared in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And obviously that is going to be within specifically so that's going to be probably mostly in the Teal Mask. And I'm kind of curious if that is including both, if that is including Pokemon over the entire evolution line, or if that is specifically just like families of Pokemon. If you get what I'm saying.
From what I've seen, it's specific Pokemon, and also most of the Pokemon are coming with Indigo Disc.
Yeah.
Not Teal Mask.
Yeah, that makes the most sense, because Teal Mask that's a much smaller area based off of what we've seen.
Yeah.
Because it's specifically a camping trip, and it's in this other region. Speaking of which, do you think that region is going to be the region that we go to in the next game?
I am not sure. It depends on if we are going back and they're like, "Oh, we're camping in the Kalos region."
No, I think they've specifically stated what the name of the region is.
They have?
And it's nothing that we've seen yet. Let me see here.
Okay, well then probably it's the next.
Yeah,
region,
Kitakami is so Teal Mask. Step out of the Paldea region as you take a school trip to the land of Kitakami. There you'll meet new people and Pokemon while unraveling the mysteries behind the area's folktales. So it's basically you're going to this place.
You know I hadn't read that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was very clear.
I just came up with all that by myself, and you just now you read it to me. That's great.
Yeah. So that's specifically on the Pokemon website. So, and obviously we have that release date being Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night.
Wednesday.
Nope, it's Tuesday night.
Oh, why did you sneeze it?
Because it's because technically it is supposed to be Wednesday, but it's based off of Japan, and so unless they are specifically making it very specific, you have to when you're connected to your Wi-Fi or whatever, it's gonna be like you're connected in this specific area or some shit like that.
Yeah, there's a really good chance it'll do that. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm aware. There's definitely a high chance of that, but but there are ways to circumnavigate that. I'm not too concerned about it, but yeah, if you people, you can start playing on Tuesday night if you know how to do it. which people do know how to do it. That's not shiny, is it? I don't think that's shiny. I don't think that's no shiny. Shiny Sprigatito has a different thing. I think. Check summary. Make sure of this. Yeah, that's just a regular Sprigatito. Okay, sorry. Got concerned there for a second there that I got shiny and I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot with it, and I'm intrigued to see exactly what they're going to be doing with Kitakami, because I'm assuming that whatever we do with Kitakami is that is probably going to be a much smaller area. So it's probably going to be regulated to one specific area of the map, and then maybe in the next game, if Kitakami is the actual next region, which I kind of doubt because it is a Japanese-based region. But with that, if it is that region, then fantastic. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily going to happen.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, we'll see how.
So let's recap. What regions have they covered so far country-wise?
So at this point in time, there is so Japan is the most common, with that being Kanto through Sinnoh. All of those have been all in Japan.
Japan. Okay.
So
they're the originals.
Yep. Black and White was in America, specifically New York.
That makes sense. Okay.
Then Kalos was obviously France.
Which game was Kalos?
That was X and Y.
Okay, I haven't played that one in a hot minute.
Yeah. And then Alola was Hawaii. Obviously America. Then Galar was in
Britain.
Yeah, that was Britain. And then finally Paldea is the Iberian Peninsula.
Yeah. Spain and
Portugal.
Portugal.
So yeah. And we'll probably see more of that before too long. People have been saying for a while that we need to see South Kalos, because obviously France we never saw all of it, because it was only like the upper half of France, which I think also
cool.
like people have been saying that for a while, and they've been like, since we're in the Iberian Peninsula, we're gonna go to Kalos next, right?
That'd be great, honestly.
We're right next to Kalos. We're gonna connect, right?
It's just that Anakin meme, right?
Right? Yeah, people love people really miss Kalos, and I think that the big reason for why people really want to go to Kalos is because of the fact that they really didn't do it justice. Because, like, thinking about it, every single game except for or every single region had at least 2 games where they were specifically focused on that specific region. And I am Except Kalos. Yeah, every single region but Kalos had at least 2 different years where they were specifically focusing on that region, whether that be an extra game, or in the most recent 2 cases, the DLC.
Yeah.
And they continued that with even with Alola, which, granted, a lot of people were saying that should have been DLC, but it wasn't. And the same thing. And the same thing goes for, and then there's always, except for, I believe, with Black and White, they've had another game. A remake game, basically.
Yeah.
I believe that Black and White was the only one that didn't get that treatment, which was also weird. But
that's really a yet situation.
No, I mean a remake with that generation.
Oh,
So basically, well, except for obviously Kanto and Johto, they didn't have anything because there was like no reason to do a remake at that point. But they did a remake for Gen 1 in in 3. So with Gen 3 they did a remake of Gen 2 or of Gen 1. Gen 4 they did one for Gen 2. Then with Kalos they did one with with Gen 3. Gen 4 was the Diamond, it was Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, as well as Legends Arceus. And then Black and White will be coming out probably next year, actually.
you think?
I think that we're gonna be seeing I think we're gonna be seeing probably faithful remakes of either Black and White or Black and White 2 in as the next remake game, if they're going to be if I don't know. We'll see exactly how they do it, because it's kind of in a weird situation with Black and White anyways.
Yeah.
And also Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl did the worst possible. People really,
Yeah, they weren't great.
yeah. But also I think that most likely they're going to be doing at that point the Black and White remakes. So
Yeah.
and I or rather the Black and White Legends, sorry, which I'm thinking will probably be either I'm thinking Legends Kyurem, and it's basically it's going to be taking place during the time of the Great Dragon thing.
That makes sense.
So and they've been kind of hinting at either Black and White or Johto games for a while now as remakes. So I'm assuming that so my theory is that we're going to be getting Black and White next. However, I could understand it being swapped and having Johto remakes next. But I feel like that still feels a little bit too soon. So I think we're going to be getting Black and White remakes / Legends Kyurem, and then with Gen 10, we'll be after Gen 10 we will be getting the Johto remakes and Legends Celebi.
Wait, what was that?
So with so after we've gotten Gen 10 and the Gen 10 DLC, after that we will get my guess is that we'll be getting either Johto remakes Johto remakes and the Legends Celebi, or just Legends Celebi. They might just skip over doing remakes from this point on, depending on how Black and White does.
Yeah, especially since after Black and White, they're pretty much already 3D.
Yeah. And to be like pretty much all I think the main reason why they are doing the remakes the way that they are is because of they want to make sure that everything is available on the most recent two consoles or whatever it is, because it was obviously so Kanto was on the GBA, or not the GBA, the just normal Game Boy. Johto was on the Game Boy Color. Hoenn was on the Game Boy Advanced, as well as obviously the Kanto remakes. Then the DS came around and we got Sinnoh, and with Sinnoh came the Johto remakes, which at that point everything was on the most recent two consoles. Then the 3DS. So that's why Black and White didn't get anything. And so on and so forth. I have I don't want to go into all of the details of my theory right now, but I think that has something to do with it, and that's why I think that Johto is probably next after Black and White.
Yeah.
But also they've been hinting at Johto for a while now, along with Black and White. So yeah. Anyways, you were saying?
No.
Sorry. Oh, you're kind. I can't hear you.
I said I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. But yeah. Anyways, those are my theories. I'm losing my mind.
How can you lose something you never really had?
Fair enough. But that's also kind of mean. But yeah,
I've said that to you since we were 15.
that's true.
And I've always said it with love.
That's true. But yeah.
Oh, you know what I got? You remember? Have you ever read the book The Invention of Hugo Cabret?
No, I've not. I don't know what that is.
Okay, first of all, it's not going to be on Audible because it's 85% pictures. But
Okay.
it's worth getting because it's incredible. So, Brian Selznick was originally an illustrator for a ton of kids' books. Like, a ton.
Okay.
And then he invented this new way of telling a story in The Invention of Hugo Cabret where he does it half in pictures and half in words. And so some of the story is in pictures, some of the story is in words. Most of it is his original artwork and things like that. So that tells a story. And then he wrote a second book called Wonderstruck that tells the story, one story in pictures and one story in words. And the story in pictures is set in 1927, and the story in words is set in 1977. And then they converge in the very end and are told in a mixture of stories or words and pictures. And I just found out he's written a third and a fourth book, and I just picked up his third book on Amazon the other day. It's called The Marvels, and it also tells two stories, one in pictures, one in words. And in pictures, it's 1766, and in words, it's 1990.
Interesting.
So I'm really looking forward to reading that.
So when you say that it's pictures and words, so like I'm assuming that the words parts it's like your standard novel.
Yeah.
With pictures, is there any words whatsoever or
No.
none? Okay.
None.
Interesting. Because like obviously 50% like obviously comic books, manga, whatever have you, those are all obviously mostly pictures rather than the words.
Correct.
So I was just curious like what exactly and also kids books in general, but I was just a little bit confused about exactly how that was working.
Yeah, so basically it's more of a cinematic type story.
Okay. So it kind of feels like The Quiet Place, except it's not horror. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why did I immediately put that together? Oh, yeah. I've never watched The Quiet Place. Just so that we're clear.
It's really good.
I should at some point. It's
not that scary.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like I'm not usually that scared of things anymore.
No, but it's really not that scary. In fact, the first time I watched it, I got in trouble for laughing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so my brain, when I watch movies, is a little bit different than other people's because I think about things differently than other people. And so when I watch movies, I'm watching as it from the point of view of someone who knows how movie making works.
I mean, I do the same.
Right, and so you watch it and you can be like, damn, that's some good special effects. And so there's this one scene in The Quiet Place where the monster's face comes apart. And I realized while watching it that they couldn't have done that with CGI because it couldn't have been full CGI because of the way it moved. And I was like, oh my god, someone had to build a faceplate that did that they could and then latch on the CGI to.
That's funny.
It was awesome.
That is.
And so I'm sitting there like in awe, just giggling at this like crazy way they built an animatronic and then planted CGI on it, and I was just in awe. And People were looking at me like I was crazy. On the other hand, I remember when I was in the 8th grade, and Lindsay, our youth pastor, decided we were going to watch Super 8 as a youth group. And you remember that blue plaid couch we had in the youth room?
Yeah.
Okay, the light blue one. So, you know how the back cushions came off? Yeah, I hugged that through the entire movie.
Okay.
And now I think it's hilarious because once you've seen the movie, you understand, and you're like, oh, okay, it's actually not that scary. And then you watch it again, and now that you understand, it's not that scary. But the first time you watch it, if you don't know what's going on, woo, prepare for a ride.
Yeah, I think it's really funny nowadays because it's just like, now since I did attempt to get a film major,
Right,
that
I
was-
know that.
like pretty much every time I watch a movie now, I'm just like, huh, I wonder how they, yeah, that I know how they did that. Now I know how they did that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and then, oh, I wonder how they did that though. And it's just like,
My favorite thing is when I can identify that they used a Foley artist, and I'm just like, oh, yes.
yeah. Sometimes I like to just turn off my brain though, and it's just like, movie. I have no idea what the fuck is going on, and I don't give a shit. That's what I think. That's really what happens most of the time when I'm watching like the a lot mostly superhero movies, because it's just like I know that a lot of the CGI is gonna be bad, and when it isn't, it's gonna be like obvious when it is bad, it's gonna be because of the fact that their budget was really shit. And then when it's good, it's like, oh yeah, they had a good budget. So it's just like it's just boring at that point, because it's just like with CGI especially, it's just like, you're boring me. You're like trying to figure out how you did that is just boring to me, because CGI is just like probably the most boring of all of the different art forms. I'm sorry. I know some people really like
it's
it,
cool
but
and all, but it's overused.
yeah.
Whatever happened to Disney Imagineers, my man?
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys.
Like,
You want to talk about ingenuity?
yeah, exactly. Like, some of the things that they did with, especially like, and that's kind of been the problem for a long time with like, a lot of specifically, when they transitioned from 2D art to 3D art, fully, it was just like, it's just kind of like, what's going on? Like, I still love Pixar. Pixar is still doing like the best freaking 3D art that I've ever seen. And,
Well, that's because they practically invented it.
yeah, and they continue to still do really impressive things with it. Meanwhile, there's Disney, who's the main part of Disney, and they're just like, yeah, here's this thing. It's not that good. And
I feel like they're decent, but they really had a specialty going with the 2D.
yeah, they really did, and it's kind of sad. And then there's anime, and a lot of people get really pissy about like CGI anime compared to like 2D anime, and I will admit that oftentimes it is the better format. But at the same time, a lot of the 2D animator, the 3D animators have done truly fantastic jobs. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Frickin' Drifting Dragons is truly a masterpiece. I don't give a shit if people don't like it.
Yeah.
Because they really had to work really hard for that, because the it has a very similar art style to that of Witch Atelier.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's very woodblocky.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they just can't do as like, they had to do a lot of things with that. It's really interesting, to still make it feel like, yeah, this is the same show that was portrayed in the manga. And like I said, I really enjoy it. If you haven't gotten the chance to watch it, absolutely do, because it's Yeah, I like I said, I love Drifting Dragons, and I want people to watch it. It's just so sad because it's a Netflix show, and it's like I said, it's CGI anime, but on top of that, it's freaking yeah. There's a lot of problems, unfortunately, and it's just never gonna see the full live day, and that's okay. Maybe one day we actually will see a good anime. We will get to see that actually make more live day. But
Hopefully.
yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about?
I don't know. I'm tired.
Hi, tired. I'm Zephyr.
Shut up.
Hey, I had to do it since Ben's not here.
I'm gonna smack you. Smack, 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 smack.
All right. Well, how long have we been going? We've been going for over an hour, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this nerd chat. We've been going crazy. We started talking about books, and then we ended up talking about other things. Also, read Beast Player. And that's where I'm gonna end it today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys next time. But on